screen. There we go. All right, 2 days in a row. Look at that. It is time. It is 5:30. Let's get this neural party started for the second time for me. I am Dr. Donna. Let's do this neural regulation. Get this doggone emotional regulation in check. I'm going to count you in a descending order of 3, 2, 1. And at that point, you will inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I think that was 3 times. Let's get this neural party started. 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me see if it'll let me come back. YouTube is a fickle one. Okay. Good morning. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Thank you, Jared and Daisy. Welcome back again. Now, this live is sponsored by The Elements. H2O. When I say drink water, you will type in drink water and you will drink water. Burning 73% to 80% water, and it needs hydration, especially if you just woke up. That's going to bother me. Dang it. OCD, I tell you. All right. So today's topic it is day 719 for me. It is Real Leader Principle number 70. Reading is fundamental. And I forgot to write down my time. Okay. Good morning, DJ, Alita. Yes. So reading is fundamental. The reason why this is one of the 74 principles of real leadership is, as most of you know, when I was in the 5th grade, I was doing 8th grade math and reading at a 3rd grade reading level. So when I did math, I had to go next door to Mr. Wilson's class. They got an 8th grade math book from Longfellow Middle School and gave it to me. And that's how I did my math. When we went to the library, I went and sat with the 3rd graders and was still reading the pictures books with the little head to tell you that was Johnny and all of that. And so it was well into my college years before I actually started being functionally literate. It's an echo. Does anyone else have an echo? Because you might have to go in and go out. So am I echoing for anyone else? It happened to Daisy yesterday because my volume is down. So go in and go out cooking with Maddie's grandma, because that happened to Daisy yesterday. And don't feel bad, because YouTube is very fair. I've had to go out of lives. And yeah, so go out and come back in. So I couldn't read, and then I could. And so now I'm coming to my 11th year to a close next month. It is acting funny. Yes. So see, Daisy is good today. If you go out and come back in, then it should stop echoing. Yeah. And so now I'm functionally literate and I can read at a very, very high level because of what we're going to talk about today. So I could not make 74 principles of real leadership without including reading is fundamental. And so as we see, it is fun. It is fundamental, and it is nonfiction. It is not. And Jared, and remember, damn it, if I hadn't, I'm going to go ahead. Jared, message me right now if you can in Instagram and tell me I need to discuss, because you asked me about if you listen and read to the book at the same time. And I just realized in this moment that that's what I was also supposed to be discussing today. So I will make that a separate live because I still do have that information. Fish is fire. I know. Listen, I told you. I'm a booktologist, baby. I think they call it a bibliophilia or something like that. I forgot what the terminology is. I'm telling you, when it comes to the books, I got that good. I promise you. I'm going to tell you. That's why I ain't give you no communication book. Because I'm like, this shit ain't going to work. Go to Toastmasters because this ain't going to work. They actually have the fish series, Jared. It's 4 books in the fish series. So if you want to check out the other ones, it is 3 other books. Yes. So I just remembered that. So anyway, I couldn't read. I was functionally illiterate and then literate. And now I'm literate like a motherfucker to the point where I can recommend books. Hey, this is what you need. This is a book you need to read. That you need to read that. You need to read that. You need to read that. Because reading is fundamental. So here is Dr. Donna's definition. Reading is not entertainment. It's foundational training for the brain. It's not entertainment. That's why people are like, oh, I just love fiction. I just love fiction. I can just read fiction. I can start a book on Friday. I can finish it by Monday. That's entertainment. That's not reading. Oh, but the imagery, it's not the same. It is not the same. So reading, it is the primary daily input that expands your thinking, your vocabulary, your strategy, and your perspective. I'm interested in your recommendations. I literally have 500 and something. If you go to my YouTube channel where we are now, I have all the book reviews of the books that I've read. So if you tell me something that you're working on, I will recommend a book. I will also say that I do not recommend current New York Times bestsellers. We are in 2025, so I read books from 2022 all the way back. I don't read New York Times bestsellers because they're not best readers. People write books so they can sell books, not so those books can actually be read. And I tell people all the time I have a rare book collection because all my books are used and the people who owned them before me rarely read them. So that's why it's a rare book collection. So yeah, I got that Steve Jobs book. It's like $30. I got it for $1 at the Sahara Library. That part. Now, there are a couple books that I've had to purchase on Amazon, and I will get them if I actually need the book. But average person reads one nonfiction book a year, and that's it. That's why I only wrote one book, because I'm like, if you're only going to read one, read mine. And now I'm like, I'm live every day. You ain't even got to read that. I'm going to tell you about the principles of real leadership. So it is the primary daily input that expands your thinking, your vocabulary, your strategy, and your perspective. I left my corporate job over 15 years ago, and I have a better perspective of everybody that my peers that I work with because they stayed in corporate jobs and they didn't read. And I can tell how when someone is communicating in an interview, if they are currently reading or not, if they are well read, because of the delivery of the information. And because they will go, and then they will be thinking. That working memory isn't functioning at a high level because they are not working their memory every single day and they're not learning and growing. So now they have to go to the hippocampus, think about it, bring it back up. How am I going to say this? That's where the pausing comes into play. That's where the filler words comes into play. And then the examples that they're using are, I won't say universal. So it becomes very cubicalized in their existence. So read every day. It is the most accessible and affordable tool to grow competence, judgment, and leadership. I'm going to say that again. It is the most accessible and affordable tool to grow your competence, which is be technically competence, is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, your judgment for yourself, and your real leadership. That's how that goes. So you are reading. If you have a library card, you have a device, you can check out a book. You can go to the library and check out a book and bring it back and check out another book. You can check out multiple books. And you could go for me, I go to Savers and I go to the Sahara Library. Most libraries here, I don't know, I'm sure they're doing it everywhere, is they actually have people donate their books and then you go to their library, you pay for $1, $2, $3. Savers has Mondays 50% off. So I'm always getting a used book. I'm going there first. I'm not going to Barnes and Noble and paying $7, $10, $12, $15, $20, $30. I'm not going to do it. So as many books as I read, absolutely not. And most of the books that are out now are bullshit anyway. I said it. Oh, such and such book came out. Such and such book came out. I'll wait. I'm patient. It'll still be there in 3 years and it'll be $1. And then I'll see if it's worth reading. Half price books at the library. And if you go to like Savers, the Salvation Army, people donate their books too. And like I said, our Savers here literally it's already reduced. But if you go on Monday, it's 50% off. I've left Savers with 5 to 8 books and $10 for 5 to 8 books. Are we supposed to read for a certain amount of time a day? Yes. If you stay around long enough, I'm going to tell you that answer. Yes. So books are accessible to everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I get the notifications often from the Clark County Library telling us what to do. And Nola was in the summer reading challenge up until all through elementary school, I think up until 6th grade. So you read a certain amount of books, and every time you turn your little sheet into the library, they give you a new book. So yeah, and you can get used books too. They have them in good condition. So that's what I always opt for. But I can't read behind some. Now, y'all ain't going to never be able to read one of my actual physical books because I highlight dog eared. Now, if I didn't like the book, you'd be able to read it because won't be no notes in there. But if I liked it, good luck. Nola has read some of my books. She's like, I'm gonna just get my own copy. I'm gonna get my own copy because you got exactamente. Why you got exactamente and the margins? Hell yeah, damn straight. That's what's up. Yeah, all kind of stuff. I'm saying. Okay, good morning, Sean. Today we're talking about reading is fundamental, number 70 on the principles of real leadership. So, adults who do not read are self-limiting their brain development and their decision making. So, what? So, you are limiting your brain development and your decision making. So, if you don't read, you can't make decisions. You can't make decisions because you don't read, because you ain't got no information. Oh, wait, you listen to podcasts. I forgot, you listen to talk radio. You watch the news. That's how you gonna make a decision. That shit gonna have you scared for real, for real. You really ain't gonna be able to make no damn decision. You gonna be shaking like a leaf on a windy day. So yeah, if you read, you gonna be able to make better decisions and wait for it in the moment because your working memory is gonna be working in the moment to allow you to be able to problem solve and do trade-off analysis and all of that in the moment. You're gonna be able, yes, you're gonna be able to make a real decision for you and yours. And then real leaders read on purpose, with purpose, not casually and not occasionally. Not casually and not occasionally, but on purpose, every day. On purpose with the purpose. Jared is now reading Fish. Fish philosophy is good. Make their day. I don't want to give too much away because I don't know what part you want. And Noah says I do that, so I'm going to stop that. So reading is fundamental. Now, people will tell me that they don't like to read. You stick around to the end. I'm going to tell you my strategy to get a book read a week and how you start off reading nonfiction so that you can continue to do it. So, because it's already 12 minutes in. Drink water. All right. So here are 5 crisp facts on why adults do not read nonfiction daily. That's chat saying that. And it will prevent you from developing Alzheimer's or dementia. I cannot say that. I am not a medical doctor. I will not say that. I will tell you while you are functioning, you will be high functioning. Don't tell them, send them the video like you did me. No, Bridget, we are at reading is fundamental. I'm not gatekeeping over here. This is the time for me to say it. I gave you the video because we wasn't at reading is fundamental yet. They can still get the video. But I'm telling them now because they need to know now because this is the principle of real leadership. Okay. So, yeah. So here are 5 facts as to why adults don't read nonfiction daily. And chat said 5 crisp facts. So chat is going to give y'all crisp Dr. Donna facts for read. Number 1, cognitive load aversion. So nonfiction requires active processing, not passive consumption. So if you read nonfiction, you're going to have to be where your feet are and be fully present. But if you're reading fiction, you can just let the text take you wherever it goes. And the adult brain avoids effort when it's tired or overwhelmed. When it's tired or overwhelmed. When it's tired or overwhelmed, the brain avoids effort. I am functioning off of 1 hour and 41 minutes of sleep right now. 1 hour and 41 minutes of sleep. Nola and I started our day at 7:30 a.m. and we got home at 1:30 a.m. You heard that correct. We started our day at 7:30. We started on Thursday. Finished on Friday. Yes, got to the house at 1:30 a.m. Had a desk that tried to take us out. Yes, and we will show y'all those photos today at 5 o'clock p.m. So this desk tried to take us out. Yes, it did. And so I am literally 1 hour and 41 minutes of sleep. I pressed the snooze button. I set my second alarm and I pressed the snooze button. So I got up at 3:41 today. So when you are tired or overwhelmed, you will say, I don't have time to read nonfiction. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. And y'all didn't know. If I hadn't told y'all I only had an hour and 13 minutes, 13 people on live, hour and 41 minutes of sleep, you wouldn't know. So how did I do that? I went in Captain Thomas mode. When I was Captain Thomas, when I was an officer in the Army, I used to have to pull what they called MPDO, military police duty officer. We used to have to stay up for 24 hours. And some days Depending on if I had to do it during the week, then I would still have to stay at work and then leave. So I would have a 36-hour day, maybe a 40-hour day, and then go home. Yes. So it is possible. I don't highly recommend it because it does not bode well for your brain, but I am accountable to you all. And so I already had these lives planned. Just because that went left doesn't mean that I don't get up every single day and do what I said I was going to do. But when I leave, I didn't make up my bed. I'm looking at it right now because I'm about to get back in that mug. And we didn't have dinner either. So yeah, that part. So that's what's happening. You have cognitive load aversion. That's why you're not reading nonfiction. I read fiction all the time. Yep. That's why you can't solve your problems. It is. Lead by example. It's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Number 2, low immediate reward signal. So social media and entertainment give fast dopamine, manufactured dopamine, and it's quick. So reading produces delayed compounding rewards, and adults choose what feels good now. You do not look tired. Beautiful shine. Thank you very much. And it's the selfie light from Ross. I am very sleepy. Trust and believe me, I'm going to conk out. I'm not setting an alarm. I'm going to wake up when I wake up. So adults like immediate gratification. Immediate gratification. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. A book is going to take too long. I need it right now. Let me see the movie. Can you tell me on the podcast? Give me the end. I need the cheat. I need the spoiler alert. What took place? So no, Amy and Lala want theirs first. That dopamine hits different. So number 3, you have untrained attention muscles. So adults rarely practice sustained focus without practicing. The prefrontal cortex fatigues quickly. Without practice, the prefrontal cortex fatigues quickly and reading feels hard. Where the cliff notes at? Exactly. They call them Quizlets now. Yep. So the brain is like, yeah, I ain't trying to do that. Nah. This feels too hard. I'm not doing it. The only way for something to feel simpler is for you to continue to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then you will become accustomed to it. Number 4, identity misalignment. So many adults do not see themselves as learners or leaders, and behavior rarely violates identity. So if you do not see yourself as a learner or a leader, spark notes now. Thank you, Nola. If you do not see yourself as a learner or a leader, you're not going to do what I'm saying. Remember, I said most people are listeners, likers, and lookers. They are not leaders and they are not leapers. So they listen, they like, and they look, and that's it, and they're gone. They're like, ooh, I got my dopamine from her today. I'm feeling good. And then you go right back to your emotionally dysregulated life. Cliff Notes did switch to being digital. They have a website. Yes. And so that's one of the reasons why you don't read. And you don't like it because somebody in school told you to read and you don't like it. I didn't like reading, but I realized I didn't like reading nonfiction. I hated fucking Great Expectations. I did not want to read the doggone Great Gatsby. I did not want to read Shakespeare and all that. I was like, see, your problem is you don't understand imagery. I'm like, I can't use this shit. I can't be at a job interview to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it's to nobler than nine, to suffer the slings and arrows of misfortune, to die, to speak no more. Fuck. I'm interviewing at McDonald's. They didn't care about that. At Livonia Movie Theater. The fuck did I need that for? Okay, anyway, I digress. So that was me saying, no, I'm not reading. And now I do. And it violates. It's so difficult to do because you don't see yourself as a leader. So real leaders are real readers. Yes, good tea. Yes, so they have a website now. So that's the problem. You don't see yourself as a leader. So how are you going to become a reader? Yes, I don't like fiction. I think it's a waste of my time. I read nonfiction though. Yes. And when I had my 10-book challenge, I went back to visit fiction. And I read 7 fiction books, and Nola said the house was unbearable for those 7 weeks. And I didn't even read them back to back. So she told me no more nonfiction because it is impacting the household. And so I just don't like it. And I'm not saying don't read fiction. I'm saying don't read fiction, making it seem like it's nonfiction. And that's not the same thing. You're doing it for enjoyment and you're getting a neurological benefit, but have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Yes, no more fiction, not nonfiction, no more fiction. And so, yeah, that part. But oh, I just read. I love to read. I love to read. I love to read. No, you love to escape your existence, and so you like to escape in a good book. I just want to read a good book all weekend and avoid everybody else. You might want to look into that. Okay. And number 5, no explicit expectation or personal accountability. So schools force reading. Adulthood does not. What is not measured, scheduled, or required does not get done. So inspect what you expect. If you hated reading and you're done with homework and you don't want to do it again, then you are an adult and you don't have to do it. And you also aren't going to be able to solve none of your problems. And you also are going to turn 35 and not be able to navigate through your damn day. So that muscle is gone. And to get more information. And that's why you got outdated analog information and you're mad because the world technology is increasing, but your working memory is decreasing. And now you want to say AI is taking over everything. It's not. They use the brain to make the algorithm, to make the mathematical equation to code AI. It's not. You just got a programmed brain that's programmed for nothing. When I read, I love to have a solid takeaway for a history, learning, or self-reflection that helps. Yes. And it's too much. Too many words. When I went back to fiction, too many motherfucking words for me. Too much happening. And it's too the build up and you gotta wait for the anticipation. And I write poetry now too. I'm like, bullshit. This is some raggedy ass writing. It doesn't take all of that. You can do it in 5 words instead of 25 words. You can get it across. I got short videos that's 8 seconds. Message across. I don't need to read 300 pages of this bullshit. You just wasted trees and time. So again, those 5 reasons are cognitive load aversion, low immediate reward signal, untrained attention muscles, identity misalignment, and no explicit expectation or personal accountability. When I started my book challenge way back in November of 2014, I did not think I was still going to be doing a book challenge 11 years later. It was a bet that I had with a colleague to see if I could read 100 books in a year based upon me watching the Equalizer, the first movie, and he was reading 100 books that people should read. So when I came home after watching the movie, I said, oh, let me see that list. And I said, I ain't reading that shit. But I was on the phone and said, I bet you can't read 100 books in a year. And I said, I bet you I can. And then it was, well, they got to be professional and business and nonfiction. Good morning, G-Man. And so I said, let me do this. And I did it. And I read 101 books that year. And then after that, I read 52 and then 50. And in order to maintain it, I needed to take week 26 off and week 52 off to prepare for the next one. And so now that I'm closing out 11 next month, what I'm going to do after 11 years is I'm going to take a break, start in January, and I'm calling it 12. And I'm going to read 12 brain books because now that's the information that I need. And so I'm not getting as much studying done because I have to finish out 11, but I want my focus in 12 to be brain. I might call it big brain or the big 12, something like that. You made me laugh. That was real talk. Got it. So, yes, and drink water. Now, here's what I will say. Adults are stupid. Now I'll drink water. I said it. Adults are stupid. No, they're not, Dr. Donna. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because adults will wait to be told something instead of going to seek that information out themselves, instead of researching themselves. You want to start a business and now you wait. You can go talk to the person instead of researching how your business can function without going to seek outside counsel. Random, my coworker brought in a great course video on the brain for me. That's awesome, Jared. That's awesome. But yeah, adults are stupid. And that's why I don't talk to them that much. Because I'm not talking about that shit. Well, you know what they said, and then they said, and then especially the ones that just consistently watch the news and will keep telling me what they saw on the news. And then I said, well, what do you think about that? Well, I think that's bad. We had a 20-minute conversation about the fuck you saw on the news, and I'm asking you your thoughts. That tells me that you're not spending any personal time in your default mode network self-reflecting. That's just terrible what they did to that kid. That's terrible what they did to that business. That's just awful. Yeah. And now what? Well, I'm just saying it's bad. Exactly. So I'm not having that conversation with you. I'm not. If you took 20 minutes for me to have this conversation for no solution. I specialize in solutions. So if we talk about a problem, I think you're giving me the backstory, and now you need support with a strategy so you can work on this thing that you presented to me. And you was just, that was it. Get out of here with that nonsense. You get your job, you put your thinking cap on the shelf with your diploma or your degree, and you think, I'm gonna just ride this out. Then you start studying when it's time to switch to get a different job or switch industries, and that's it. And then you have your children, your grandchildren bring you their homework, and now y'all on your way to Kumon or wherever else. So they need a tutor. You got a fucking master's degree. How your kids need a tutor? The fuck? You got a master's degree in math. How your kids need a math tutor? I don't have the patience for all of that. It's math. They in the first grade. I literally, a colleague of mine, him and his wife, she is in finance at Ford Motor Company. His son brought home the first grade math, and they had to send him to tutoring. I'm like, both of y'all was 6 at one time. How the fuck y'all can't do first grade math? No, that's that new math. This that new math. Okay. With no concept but gossip. Yes. What's the plan of action to correct this? That's correct. So literally, they need a tutor. And Nola and I used to joke and say we could never homeschool. And then she went to her high school. I said, we homeschooling. We're going to figure this shit out. Because what we're not going to do is this right here. No. So you're going to finish this freshman year and we done. We're going to figure it out. So the reading is what helps you learn, grow, and develop. And you get, the more you read, the more new neurons you create, the more new neural pathways you create. So you need to read. So what is the strategy? Ping. Here is my strategy that I developed because of my reading challenges. And the first challenge, I was reading 2 books a week. And that was challenging. I'll never do that shit again. My life is too busy now. I can't. So anyway, here's what you do. Let's say I'm reading this book, which I'm saving this book because this is a brain book. But this book has a lot of damn pages in it. We're just going to say this book has, let's just run the numbers. And because I'm tired, I'm going to have to use my calculator because I'm sleepy as shit. All right. This book has 263 pages. So I'm going to read, it's 37.57. So I'm going to read 38 pages of this book a day. That's what's going to get me to finish this book. Start books on Monday, finish on Sunday. And so what I do, and it should be in the tools, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So in the tools, and this is going to be backwards for y'all. I have 2 tools. This is just one of them. So you see I have recommend, and I know it's backwards, and I say yes. That's what I did for you, Jared, yesterday. I went and looked at the book and went in the videos and said no. And then I have what I read, what day I read it, how many pages it was going to be. And sometimes there's first read, second read, third read, fourth read if I read the same book that. So last time I read the tools, this is my recent one. It was on August 29th of 2022. And again, approximately 38 pages a day. So now I know. And sometimes I can get it all done in the morning. I always have a book with me. Sometimes I have to get it done throughout the day. But that's how you read a book a week. And so for people who have standard schedules, when you eat, you read. So while you're eating breakfast, while you're eating lunch, while you're eating dinner, unless you have a family dinner, then you do it before or after. But you keep your book with you because there's always, I got somewhere early. I finished something up early. That's the formula. Now, for people who haven't read in a long time, you got that dusty ass working memory. Don't you go starting trying to read this. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to start with Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese is 97 pages. And 97 pages is going to put you at about 7, 8 pages. Yeah, 13 pages, 14 pages a day. There you go. You're going to read Who Moved My Cheese. Why, Dr. Donna? I'm glad you asked. Because the book is about change. Good information on dating to read. I did not do and will start. Yes, good book. Yes. And so I do that so I know how many times. And I also do that because now I have to find a book review. So like Who Moved My Cheese, I read that every year. The Art of War, I read it most years. I was reading my book every year up until about year 7 or 8. And I was like, okay, I got it. So what happens is I go and look at the date, and then that's going to help me determine which book review of the times that I read the book that I'm going to send to you. So then I'm like, damn, where'd I read that? Sometimes I search it. Sometimes I just go and look at that book challenge and say, oh, that was 52. That was more 50. Here is that book review. And it's a very, and I also have an Excel spreadsheet. So now I read the book, day I read the book, day I finished the book, and then yes or no if I recommended the book or not. And I keep that on my computer as well as on the flash drive as backup. So that's my system for reading a book a week. Now, if you have not read a book in a very, 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 very long time, you are going to get Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. And you are going to read that for two reasons. Number one, it's a book about change. Number two, it's an easy read. It's a simple read. And Nola hates when I say the book reads itself. She's like, no book reads itself. Stop saying that. So it's a simple read. And then from there, you're only going to read books. You're going to read parables and regular books that are 200 pages or less, because 200 pages puts you at about 28 pages a day. And you're going to do that until you start finishing books faster and faster. And only you know how fast you're reading a book within that time frame. And then you're going to pick books that are 220 pages. You're not going to be like, I read doggone Dr. Donna's book. That's 176 pages. I'm about to read that 600-page Steve Jobs book. No, you're not. No, you're not. First of all, I wrote my book in a very conversational tone. Steve Jobs' book, not written in a conversational tone. So you are going to stick to small books that are 200 pages or less. And then you're going to go up in increments of 20. And you're going to continue to read books that have a conversational tone. So you're not going to pick up Chaucer. You're not going to go ahead and pick up Beowulf and all, even though those are fiction. You're not about the book I used to read that took me forever was How to Be a Billionaire. That tiny ass font, it took me 3 weeks the first time I read that book. You definitely ain't picking up the fucking Art of War, even though it's thin. It's about 64 pages. You're not going to do that either. The Magic Power of Emotional Appeal is a great book, but it was written in 1960. You can't even get that in print no more. But no, not tiny, tiny font. Don't do that to yourself, because you're going to become deflated and you're not going to want to finish. And so reading parables works. The Fish Philosophy, those are good books to read too. So you're not going from you ain't read to now you're trying to turn into Encyclopedia Britannica. That's not going to happen. You are going to deflate yourself and it's not going to work. So you are also going to read books that are going to be neurologically beneficial for you. So for Sean and Regina and Jared, I said read Who Moved My Cheese, and I also said read The Tools. Because if you find yourself having issues, triggers, as somebody asked me on TikTok Live, The Tools is what you need to read. Not only do you need to read it, but you need to use the tools. And you need to use them every day. Reversal of desire, the shadow, the deathbed syndrome, of deathbed paradox, deathbed jeopardy. So those things are there for you. That's the other reason why I read all those books. So I can tell you, based upon what you're working on and what you need to either do or stop doing, here is the book for you. Now, I don't get any money from anybody. I say The E-Myth Revisited is by far the best business book ever written, known to man. And I have never met Michael E. Gerber. I don't plan on meeting him. I don't get a dime from telling people to read his book, but that book is fire. And it don't matter if you think about starting a business or you've been in business for 20 years, 30 years, that book is the best business book ever written. And hands down. And don't try to, for the looky-loos, don't try to throw somebody else's bullshit in there, because no, the fuck it's not. It's not. I done read enough business books and brand businesses. So yeah, that is by far the best book. Yes, best business book ever. Written in a language that you can understand and you can keep referring back to it and making sure that you're doing it. So that is the reading strategy that you need. Start with Who Moved My Cheese. Take the book, divide it by 7 pages, read it. If you have a standard schedule, read it when you eat. If you don't, read it in the morning, read it in the evening. Tell people it's my reading time. Protect your reading time. Start on a specific day. For me, it's Monday. Finish on Sunday. If you want to start on Saturday, if you want to do Wednesday to Wednesday, it don't matter to me. 7 days is 7 days. You read a book a week. Do not try to overdo it. And I liken it to this. If you haven't lifted weights in 20 years, don't your ass go in the gym and pick up 2 70-pound dumbbells. You're going to be in traction. No, you go to them 5-pound weights. You go to them 2-pound weights. That's Who Moved My Cheese. And now you over there. You get the fish and Fish Philosophy. You work your way up to 1 Minute Manager. And you're just doing these small books to get them done. And I also use that strategy with Nola, because she would try to get a thick book to read. I'm like, no, read these Who Was books. Now you're going to take a what's the name test on it. And then you're going to be good to go. So that's what she did in school. In the summer, she read the thin books, got her little mark, and then she took the thick books that the library gave her home. So is that important? So reading is fundamental for your life. You are on that one. Which one? The E-Myth or Who Moved My Cheese? Which one, Sean? Oh, I'm so sore between the damn VA exam and sitting on the floor on that mat. Okay. So which one are you talking about, Sean? Brain book. I'm trying to find my thing. Oh, Fish. Yes. Great books. And all these books I found at libraries. And good morning, Lola. Let me find my Why Adults Translate Reasonable. Oh, here we go. Yeah, my stuff is out of order because I'm sleeping. Yes, and they're great books. And that's what educators do. They give you the information that you need in order for you to succeed. And not so they can look good. They not like us. So, here's today. So, any questions? And drink water. What questions do you have about how to read a book in a week, the tracking philosophy, and any of the other things that I've covered before we switch over to the brain as a book for the brain bit? And if you're thinking, remember your ellipse, your brain. There are 4 of them, and I have all 4 of them. If you look them up, you'll see them. And I actually even have the book of the Pikes Place people. They wrote a book too. And I have about the actual people. So I have that 5th one as well. And I have a Who Moved My Cheese addiction, according to Nola. And so I have 11 or 12 copies of Who Moved My Cheese because I've read it so many times that I have to read a fresh copy because I don't want my review to be about anything that I read before. So every time I see one, I grab it from Savers. And she's like, I know, it's a stack of them on the bookcase, all on top of each other. I got it in hardback, all in paperback, all kind. You can see them aging because they keep printing them differently. What about reading your Bible? What about it? And Sean and Nolan, what's the question about reading your Bible? Read it. Very good book daily to read every day. You're saying in place of reading nonfiction? I learned reading fiction doesn't help you be a better learner. You're saying so. Let me be clear. You're saying you're counting your daily reading from reading your Bible. Is that what you're saying? You're saying you read your Bible every day, so that's your reading every day. Is that what you're asking me? No, that doesn't count. Reading your Bible is for spiritual. Reading nonfiction is for neurological. You can do both. There are people who have many different religions that they practice over here. And so I'm not going to tell you to not read your Bible. The thing about the Bible is you've read it already. So you're not going to get any new neurons from reading the Bible because you already read it. So you're strengthening the spiritual neural pathways that's already there. You're reminding yourself and refreshing and reviewing what you already know and what you're already practicing. So you won't have any new information. You'll have some new reflection. So I read Who Moved My Cheese every year. Every year I read it. And I have new reflection but I know that him is not coming out of cheese station C. I already know that. I know Sniff and Scurry leave first. Hall sits there and vacillates, and then Hall goes and leaves and tries to come back, and him says, "No, I want my cheese. I'm not leaving." And then Hall catches up with Sniff and Scurry, and that's it. And the adults before and after have their conversations. So I know how that story is going to end. With the Bible, you know how it's going to end, but you will not get any new neurons. You won't have any new learnings unless you gather new information. What do you think about brain games like Luminosity? Good for high functioning, can replace reading at times. Nothing can replace reading. You can get a brain app. I was on episode of Brain Games. So they all have different neurological benefits. But if you want to strengthen your information, your cognition, and your working memory, to get new neurons, you need to read 15 minutes. And someone asked me 15 minutes or more of nonfiction every day. That's a different neural pathway. Let's think of it this way. If I go to the gym and I work out, I can't even lift my arms up right now, but let's say I work out my glutes because I won't have an apple bottom because I'm over 50. And I never do any ab work. What's going to happen is I'm going to have a booty do. That means that my belly stick out more than my booty do, right? So I need to go and flatten my belly. So it's a different exercise. So if you're doing brain gains, then you just going to shake that, make that booty pop, but that belly going to drop, drop, drop. So it's a different neurological exercise. That's what's happening. All right. And don't you like how I explained that very theoretically? Like it was really a real, it was really a real thing. Sean said, I have learned today by reading, they will keep your brain in learning mode. And so what happened? Oh no, I learned about myself at a young age. I prefer nonfiction, found this out in 5th grade. So it's different. It's a different neurological workout. My brain conversation was me basically having a beautiful mind and putting that desk together. Y'all, I'm telling you, when we get on the live, I don't even know what the hell the topic is about today. But listen, I ain't never, y'all know I don't drink and I don't smoke. And I said, shit, if I had a cigarette right now, I'd be outside smoking a cigarette. That's how bad my nerves was at that point. I need to go see if somebody dropped a butt on the ground. Because that right there, whoo. I have learned about myself. I need to start dating the book and read once, finishing it, and rate it for either like it or not. I had a brain conversation without using the terms to help my coworker with his problem. See, there you go. Sometimes you got to make it so palatable so people can process it. So nonfiction reading strengthens, that's going to give you a whole brain workout. Now, someone on TikTok asked me this morning, they said, what part of the brain do you talk about? And I said the whole brain, the 4 lobes, the big ones and the 2 little ones, all 6 of them. And I found that to be interesting because I told y'all people go find one part of the brain. I specialize in the executive function. I specialize in emotional dysregulation. I specialize in the basal ganglia. I specialize in it. No, it's the whole damn brain. You got to use your whole damn brain. If it takes 10 brain regions to blink, why am I saying, why specialize in the occipital lobe? The fuck? You got to talk about all of it. All of them interact. You got thousands and thousands and thousands of synaptic connections happening all day long. Why are you going to pick one and run? Because that's simple to do. Yes, I'm a prefrontal cortex specialist. That's what I specialize in. Well, the prefrontal cortex talks to the temporal lobe because that's where Amy and Lala live, in the limbic lobe, that little small limbic lobe causing all them damn problems. That's what's taking place. So if you haven't done so already, what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation? The brain convo was with my siblings starting to ChatGPT, best app ever. Let me tell you about that, Sean. You better know it. You better know it. And I think I told y'all how I ended up on chat. When I started studying the brain more consistently last November, I was on Very Well Mind, the Cleveland Clinic, the Mayo Clinic, the John Hopkins, and I was Googling shit. And by February or March, they ain't had no more information for me. Now I know that's because the shit was only been published for 10 to 15 years. So then people kept saying, chat is bad, chat is bad. So I started using chat. I was like, chat ain't bad, chat is good. The hell are y'all talking about? Yeah, this is wonderful. I have a great relationship with my chat. So yes, literally chat will tell you. We were at the appointment yesterday. That shit was in Chinese. I'm taking pictures. I'm like, chat, what is this? What is this? The shit was in metrics in Chinese. I'm like, we need this in English and standard. Taking pictures. Bam, bam, bam. Got the information. And so, yes. And Google is trying, Grok is trying. It's not happening. Chat, it's like Snapchat. Snapchat got the best lenses out of everybody because they are the originator. I learned that reading fiction does nothing for your brain. It does nothing, Bridget, because you you do get the right side of your brain. So the creativity side and the alliteration and the imagery, it is doing something for your brain. It's just not strengthening your working memory and your cognition. So it's just it's for fun. So have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So if that's something that you enjoy, then you put it in the rewards nucleus accumbens category when you actually do it. And yes, you can have some takeaways from it. You can learn anything from anybody. But overall, that cognition and that increase in your vocabulary, because reading fiction, you can't speak in fiction terms when you're talking to people unless you're talking to another fiction reader. It's not going, the imagery was so, and the sky was so blue, and it was just emanating such wonderful rays from the sun. You gotta say, damn, it's sunny as hell today. If you plan on having a conversation with a regular person. What did Lola say? Did I miss what Lola said? Lola, thanks, because I worked for me and I couldn't read before. Challenging yourself. That's correct. I told y'all, I talked about you on the live this morning, Lola. I told them in January you wasn't even using a computer. And now you are doing the thing. You on Duolingo, you at the gym, you the lead housing person now, you didn't pass the test online. One day you had to pull out your laptop, you had that thing for 3 years, hadn't never used it. All kind of things happening. And oh, by the way, you a boomer. Okay, it's not doing what I need, and that's strengthening my brain on purpose. Yes. So reading is fundamental, and you get to pick. The one thing that I liked about after I graduated from college and finished school is because I could read what I wanted to read and say what I wanted to say. And the one other thing that when I was first started, if you look at my first 13 book challenges, I got to a book, I think it was Ken Blanchard, and I didn't like the book. And I was having a conversation with Nola, and I was like, damn, I don't like this book. And now I'm about to go on YouTube and say I don't like this book, and he a popular person. And she was like, but you don't like the book. You can't lie. You don't like the book. And so that's why I say yes or no. There are plenty of books. I read Jack Welch's book and didn't recommend it. And I told people before, I have a Real Leader book meter, and I'm not going to recommend a book that I wouldn't reread, number one, and that isn't going to be value added for you. That's why when Jared asked yesterday, do you have any communication books? I looked through my physical books. I pulled out one and I watched the book review. I said, yeah, no, I didn't, but let me go and see. If it's still something inside of the book review, even though I didn't recommend it, can you extrapolate any information? And I said no. And so I don't care if it's a New York Times bestseller. People are like, oh my God, that book was so good. No, it wasn't. It did not meet the Real Leader meter. It did not match the 74 principles of real leadership. You can't use this. It was it a good book because it was popular? And that's why I finish all the books that I read. So when I come across someone who tells me that it was a good book and you missed it, well, you didn't finish it. Yes, I did. I finished it. And here go the book review for it. And I said it wasn't shit. And I didn't like it. People don't like my book, and they don't have to. And that's okay. Everybody has a preference. But I'm not going to recommend a book that's not going to help you grow and become a bad motherfucker just because it was popular. I learned about myself that when told to read fiction, I cringe and say, nah, I pass. When told to read a nonfiction book, I will at least look into the book and possibly will read it. Yes. And there is a group and people that read fiction think they're better than people who don't read fiction. Calling Toastmasters before the end of next Friday. Roger that. Because that is the business. You will definitely become a more effective communicator. For sure. Because you're going to get that real-time evaluation. For sure. People used to love when I evaluated their speech because I'd redo their whole speech while I'm up there evaluating it. They're like, dang, Dr. Donna reviewing my speech today. Whoo! Or, ooh. So, it's an interesting time. Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll go back. Doing some other stuff now. Teaching adults how to use the brain. So in summary, reading every day, 15 minutes of nonfiction is your neurological workout. Is working out for your working memory, your cognition, and you need to read different types of nonfiction books. Like I said, you come to my home and I'm not present, and you look at my book collection and they say, how old is this person? What gender is this person? What ethnicity is this person? Everybody would be wrong. You would never guess. I did a training. I did pretty good for communicating. Very good. Very good. So they're going to tell you all of your little nuances. They're going to teach you how to block and stand and pause and present information that makes you uncomfortable and all of that. You get to pick your educational paths now. They changed the educational program right before I left, so it is more intuitive. It is a great organization, and it's not. And there isn't one that I know of at that price point that will give you everything that you need. Today has been some good tea intake. Dr. Donna, always have a wonderful weekend. All have a wonderful weekend. You too. Sean, you got to tell me what happened yesterday. You need to message me. And you were in front of an audience. Great. That's wonderful. That's good. That's how you know you did good. For sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have anything else for you. I am extremely sleepy, and we are finishing under an hour. So my brain conversation was with my husband. Surprisingly, he had been lurking in your live one day. He said he likes that I'm working on my brain. Go figure. He needs this too. Okay. Well, I'm going to stay out of that, Bridget. Yep. Awesome. So Nola and I will be live today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know my nap will not run into that part of the day. I probably am going to get about 2 hours and get back up and get back to it. So I have things to do. And Jared, if you didn't send me that message, please send it to me because I'm remembering it now. But in another 30 minutes, I'm going to be asleep and I'm not going to remember it. But we do need to still find out what difference. And I will make it a brain bit. Oh, y'all know what? 1 second. I forgot. I'm tired as hell. The brain bit. So your brain as a book. Your brain stores chapters, life events, paragraphs, moments, and sentences that are details. When you replay experiences, you are rereading pages you already wrote. When you learn, you are writing new chapters into the library. So when you refuse to learn, you keep rereading old pages and never update the story. Real leadership and growth require editing old chapters and adding new ones on purpose. So if you don't like your life story, stop rereading it and start rewiring it. Yes, I will do it now because that is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So when you think of your brain as a book and you just keep rereading the same stories, you're not writing new stories. And that's why when you're reading nonfiction, you're going to write new stories for your life. And I promise you, in the last 15 years of being gone from corporate America, I'm smarter than I ever was. I know more about a global existence and everything else. I call myself a global citizen because I understand more of how the world operates as opposed to this nice little cubicalized existence that I was living in before I left Frito-Lay. So when you open up, you embrace change because that's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. You take daily risk and you read, you find out more about everything. When you learn more, you learn more. And what happens is your brain rewards you with your nucleus accumbens, gets that nice little reward loop. You get that natural dopamine boost. And now you don't have to go searching and scrolling and looking for dopamine in all the wrong places. This is why we stay getting stuck. Yes, because you're just rereading what you already know. And that's why you have to learn and grow and learn something new every single day. That's why I won't repeat a topic. I mean, I repeat the 74 principles of real leadership because that's what they are. But I'm not going to go on TikTok live and then come back over here and say the same thing that I did over there. No, you was over there, you got that message. You over here, you're going to get this message. This evening, you're going to get a different message because you need to keep learning and growing. I will expand on it, or I will say, I said this before. Here's why I'm saying it now so that you will understand the application. So Bridget, if you're still on here, thank you. She's like, what were you thanking me for, Dr. Donna? Because I have a new idea. Y'all know I will give credit to everybody when you inspire me to inspire me. I know I'm fucking sleepy. When you empower me, fucking hour and 41 minutes is showing up for real now. Am I motivated? So what happened on the TikTok live this morning is I was explaining to them this hero worshiping and idolizing and all this shit. They don't give a fuck about you. And so I said, we need to start celebrating each other's everydayness. And I said, if you went to your job, if you made it to the end of the month and you still got some money left and your gas and all of that, celebrate it. And so Bridget said that she still has $65 left in her food budget and she saved $500 this month. And we gave her a clap. Y'all can give her a clap and a woohoo over here. And then after I got off the live, I went downstairs to rewarm up my coffee, and the idea hit me like a ton of bricks. The name might change, but what I'm going to start doing is have everyday flex. So everyday people in everyday life. So what's your everyday flex? Because we sit here, the world is programmed, the adults in the world have been programmed to revere these other people on screens that we can't see, touch, or anything. But to still have $65 in this economy left in your food budget and you save $500 this month, that's a motherfucking flex. That's an everyday flex. Because we are everyday people and we're not celebrating our everydayness. Like, that's not a flex. That's a flex. We put that drawer to get that doggone desk together. That's just a flex. And so when you start doing that, you're going to start seeing how, because TikTok Live was about being extraordinary. You're going to start seeing how extraordinary you actually are. If you got to go to work 50 weeks out the year to get 2 weeks of vacation, that's a flex. That's an everyday flex. You might get 2 weeks of doggone sick time. That's it. And now you doing your job all day long and taking care of your family, everything else, and you feeling inferior because somebody pulled up in a Bentley on television. Fuck that. We need to start celebrating our everydayness because this is what it is. It is everyday extraordinariness. It is. If you are over, listen, 10K steps a day, average for a month. There you go, Jared, because you needed to lose some weight. Your BMI was too damn high. There you go. There you go. So you're saying that. And when you start saying that, guess what's going to happen? Because Nola used to think people was doing shit. And then she realized, she was like, oh, they ain't doing shit. Oh, they not doing anything. But if you don't celebrate that and you don't give your own natural reward loop to yourself, it feels like somebody in the NBA that had 50 points, shooting threes from the outer perimeter, had a good game. That's their fucking job. You're supposed to win games. What the fuck is you getting credit for doing your job? That wasn't extraordinary. You just did your job. That you a shooting guard. That's your job. I'm not clapping for that. Not. And you down 7 pounds. There you go. See? Especially now that you're 50, it's hard as hell to start losing that doggone weight because of the sedentary lifestyle. Hence the 10,000 steps. You are welcome, Bridget. So that's what I'm saying. So because of you, Bridget, we are going to start doing everyday flexes. Everyday flexes. Because the doggone famous people and the wealthy people got make it seem like, ooh, you regular, you every day. Damn straight. Every motherfucking day. Your ass is sporadic. You sporadic. I'm every day. Start flexing on a motherfucker with your everyday. It's a flex. It's a flex. You got to wait for your book to drop, your album to drop, the season to start. I'm every day. You do everyday celebrations. You got 365 wins. You know what that's doing to wiring for your reward circuit? Every day you releasing your own natural dopamine. You ain't got to wait for their album to drop. You ain't got to wait for the movie to come out. You ain't got to wait to see what the news said. I'm the news. I'm everyday leader in everyday life and you everyday too. Celebrate your everydays. People don't just die on holidays. They die every fucking day. So do not be like, oh, it's just October 24th. It ain't shit. It ain't Halloween. Ain't nobody birthday on. It's just Friday. No, fuck that. Everyday flex. Where the fuck you at? So Bridget, thank you for saying that. Because I'm like, that is good shit. That is you at the end of the month and you got $500 and you got $65 for food. That's a flex. Food is expensive as shit in America right now. So hell yeah, that's a flex. That's what I'm talking about. So we will be doing everyday flexes. Everyday flexes. And I ain't going to switch it for the brain. I don't know how we're going to fit that in. I know I'll be an hour and 15 minutes as it is. I'm going to shut the fuck up to make it happen. But when I'm awake, we'll start that tomorrow because I'm too fucking sleepy right now. But I think I like the name Everyday Flex. And that's what we're going to do. Because I'm sick of this. You feeling bad. We had a person, a school custodian, making $14 an hour and she keeping the school clean. I said, you the doggone hero. Heroes carry brooms and dustpans. They always talk about not all heroes wear capes. Heroes carry brooms and dustpans and swifters and mops and pledge. That's why I say happy day before the day. Happy Friday. Celebrate daily. Exactly. Exactly. So everyday flexing over here. And nothing is too small. You know what I'm saying? If you doing sobriety and you got 3 days clean and sober, fuck, that's an everyday flex. Jared losing weight because he was on his way to Fluffy and now he reversing that. Trying to read 2 books a month. And I said, no, now he got 4 going on. Sean is over there to cut down a damn tree, and now she's sanding wood about to make a damn plot. That's an everyday flex. Everyday doggone flex. And we don't celebrate each other's flexing. Why not? We let some other people who don't give a fuck about us define our fucking flexing. Fuck them. They shit ain't flexing. Yes, and you had near-death experiences, right? And I told God, you get me out this doggone bed, shit, I'm going to be riding till the wheels fall off. For real, for real. So we need to start celebrating us. They want us to wait, ghost the shit out of us, come back, and then celebrate them. No, fuck you. Where you been? What you doing? Where you at? You been gone for 4 years, and that's a fact. Now you want me to buy your shit. Now you want me to vote for you. Now you want me to watch your fucking movie. Where the fuck you ghosted me for 275 days, 730 days, 2 years, and now you back. You know how much shit I did? I did 730 different fucking things, and you coming back talking about one thing that you did in 730 days. They not like us. They not like us. Well, what I was doing was that you worked on 13 songs in 730 days. You had one movie in 730 days. You know what I've been doing for 730 days? And now you will see how inconsequential that shit is. Maybe they need to start focusing on their everyday. That's what you need to do. Because we're not celebrating each other, and that's no brainer. We're going to close our own nucleus accumbens reward loops with our own natural dopamine release. No, I only have now to make my mark. Exactly. So celebrate your damn self. If your house is junky as shit, you finally clean it up and it stay clean for a whole month, celebrate. Because by celebrating that small win, you're closing the loop. And now the nucleus accumbens, the dopamine, everybody, all of the brain regions are like, shit, let's do that again. No. We keep our house clean. Clutter out here means clutter up here. We neural clear up in this mug. Pick them shoes up and take them upstairs. Wash them damn dishes. That's a flex. Because now your house is clutter free. So that means your mind is clutter free. Why can't that be a flex? If your house been junky for 6 years and now it's clean, why you not flexing? Why? That means you had to get rid of a lot of things. You had to donate some things. You had to put everything in a space so it could be clear. Why wouldn't you celebrate that after having 6 years worth of junk? If you've been trying to lose 30 pounds for 3 years and you finally lost 7, you go damn sure celebrate. And you're going to get down to your BMI. When you get down to your BMI, you're going to celebrate. Buy yourself a new outfit because you should be in a different size by then. Get it ready. I'm going to put these on. I'm about to get back in my skinny jeans or straight legs if you old as us. Celebrate every doggone day. So starting tomorrow, we are doing an everyday flex on TikTok and on here. Why not? Ain't nobody else fucking coming to celebrate us. You ain't waiting on no birthday, no doggone special occasion. Today is a special fucking occasion. I'm graduating online November 15th. I'm sending y'all the link when I get it. Help me celebrate. Hell yeah. Right. My grand not perfect attendance last year, and now that's her goal for this year because I celebrated that with her. Exactly. Nola was the first girl in school to finish the 100 miles in 1 year, and then other little girls saw her and they started doing it too. That shit went on the news. She got an award at Flag Day and everything. Why we ain't celebrating that? And then people be bragging about dumb shit. No, brag about good shit. Brag about hard shit. Shit that you couldn't do that you can do now. Jared, you doing 4 books a month. Brag about that shit. Why not? Waiting on them and they dumb shit. They didn't get to fucking set the rules. They don't come watching you at your job. Why the fuck you going to watch them at theirs? And they're not even good at their job. No, we're not doing that. I'm not saying don't watch TV. I'm not saying don't go do. I'm saying don't go do that thinking they better than you. Don't go do that thinking their life is better than yours. Your life is as best as you can make it. You focus on being a bad mofo every single day. So you're going to celebrate that. You get to your end of your day, you pat yourself on the back, say, you know what, you did good today. You didn't slap the shit out of nobody. A win's a win. You got to start somewhere. You stood up for yourself 4 times a day. Hell yeah. And drink you some water and then go to sleep. And wake up and say rinse and repeat. And guess what you're going to start doing? You're going to start looking for everyday excellence. You're going to start expecting it. And you're going to start behaving in that way because that's who you're becoming. That neural pathway going to get strong as hell. And you're just going to say, people say, well, what happened? Did you lose something different about you? This is what excellence looks like, baby. This is everyday excellence in action. This is what bad mofo-ness. I told y'all I was working on that. That's what I'm doing. I'm in my bad mofo phase of my life, my season. I think I'm going to stay here. Looks good on me, don't it? This is confidence. Built from the inside out. That's how we do it. Real leadership. Gang, gang. There you go. Okay. So thank you very much, Bridget, for that. And now we will have everyday flexes. Thanks to Bridget. And we're going to start flexing every single day. Everybody else bragging about dumb shit. We're going to be bragging about real shit. Neuro shit. Over here. Brain gang. And what? All right. So I am extremely sleepy. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power, and the universe. And well rested because we are taking today off completely other than the live at 5 p.m. We will not be doing any assembly. I will put some things. I'm going to try my best to put things in Instagram and TikTok before I go to sleep. I am exhausted. A 5-star mofo. You better know it. Second mile service, Ritz-Carlton. Give it to yourself. So that is my objective, is to put things in there before I go to sleep. And then I'm going to be asleep until I wake up, because this hour and 41 minutes is coming upon me. And my adenosine is adenosine. They like, okay, take your ass to sleep. Process S and C have met, and it's time for me to go to sleep. So I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power and universe, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off. And if you are in the TikTok live, there is a poll question up at the top in the chat. Please answer that. I am working towards understanding the functionality over there, because it changed from even last year when I had subscribers. So if you are already subscribed on TikTok, go answer that poll question in the spotlight part of it where the words are. Okay, you all go off again if you're available. Yes, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Nola's going to be showing the photos because we'll be on YouTube of the desk and all of that. And yeah, and I forgot what principle of real leadership we're talking about, but it's the one after take risk. Okay, you all go off and have a brain-tastic day. Take care.